Thank you all very much for joining us today for the dedication and celebration of Bernard G. Epstein's life and gift to the University of Hartford tennis programs. Before we get into our program, I'd like to ask the president of the University of Hartford, Dr. Walter Harrison, to offer some thoughts and a welcome.
So, thank you. I want to be a professor for just a minute. In Tennessee Williams' play, A Streetcar Named Desire, there's a famous last line where a woman named Blanche Dubois, who's made every mistake you can possibly make in your life, is being carted off to an insane asylum, and a psychiatrist comes to help her leave, and she says, "I've always depended on the kindness of strangers." It's a very famous, ironic line in American literature. I ask you all to take an English course. Having said that, it occurs to me that what we're doing today is celebrating the kindness of friends. So Bernie Epstein gave money that today will go to improve our tennis courts and program. That's what we depend on. People who have been here as students and later in life give back, either in their lives or in their estates. So today is really an important symbolic thing for me, in that we depend on the kindness of our alumni and our donors, and today we're celebrating Bernie Epstein's kindness. Thanks.
Thank you, President Harrison. At this time, I'd like to turn the mic over to our head coach, Mike Raymond, for some thoughts.
Thanks, Pat. Not having been somebody that knew Bernie personally, when we were researching for this project and everything, we were going through some files and we found a letter that Bernie had sent to one of the former coaches here at Hartford. In the letter, he talked about an experience that he had while he was a player. They were having what they described at the time was the greatest season in Hartford history, and they had a match towards the end of their season where the coach at the time was just more of an advisor, and they were actually forced to travel to a match without the coach. So Bernie drives the van to the match, and they get there late, and the conditions are terrible, and they don't get much warm-up time, and it was in Rhode Island. They played URI. They end up beating Rhode Island 5-4. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Great win for the program under adverse conditions. It finished what they considered to be their greatest season at the time. There have been several other successful Hartford seasons since then, but it's apparent that Bernie was the kind of guy that when he saw something to commit himself to, he did it without question. He was a military man. Pat's going to explain a little bit more about his background in a second, but he was obviously somebody who was extremely, extremely committed to everything that he did. And even when the chips were down and he had to drive his own teammates to a match, to a situation that the conditions were not great, and pulled the match out, that's what speaks to me as a coach. And we obviously thank him a lot for everything that he's done for the program, for the contributions that he's made at this point, and we just thank him very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Raymond. A little bit more about Bernie Epstein. Over the last 10 years, I have had the good fortune to correspond with him, talk with him on the phone, and get a real sense of his individual personality and his passions, as Mike has already referenced. That match, Bernie was a 1961 graduate of the University of Hartford. He played 2 years for the Hawks, 59-60, which was the very first season of men's tennis at the university, and then graduated the next year. So he played 2 years for us and was truly in love with the sport and the university. He was able to be assisted in his education. He had taken a 10-year period off. Mike referenced that He had spent the first 2 years at the U.S. Air Force Academy. He was a military guy, and took 10 years off, came back and finished up his undergraduate work at the university through the help of a gentleman named Dean Meinke, and spoke to me of the loan that he received in order to come back to school. And from a very personal place, I just say to you that I've been at 3 different schools in my 40-year career, and I continue to be profoundly grateful for the people at the University of Hartford who work very hard, very personally and very hard on behalf of students to help them to get their education. That same sentiment continues today and was a critical part of Bernie Epstein's advancement to his undergraduate degree. He was coached by a gentleman, our first tennis coach, named Gene Sweeney, who was a history professor here at the university. And over the years, I will just share with you, because I was reading through some notes this morning, and a little note he sent me. We had invited him in 2005 to come up for this homecoming weekend. He was struggling with staph infection, couldn't make it, but his last words in the note were, I love New England, I love the bright skies, the autumn leaves, and the cool nights. And so this is a great day for us to celebrate his life and accept his gift to the men's and women's tennis program here with a great deal of gratitude. He was a passionate man. As Coach Raymond has said, he loved his sport. And he talked in his letters to me and on the telephone of his love for his teammates. So what I would like to ask you to do right now, his family is in California. They could not join us today, but I ask you to bow your heads in a moment of silence to celebrate this very, very fine gentleman. Thank you. And as we celebrate today, coming back, being with old friends, joining with parents, and enjoying each other on such a gorgeous day, please remember Bernie Epstein, and also understand how, as the years go along, your relationships here, your college degree, will mean more and more every year. At this time, I would like to ask Coach Raymond and President Harrison to unveil our dedication plaque to Bernie. So, gentlemen, you are up. Howie, you may get involved in that if you like. Here we go. Ta-da! The plaque reads, Epstein Court, dedicated in memory of Bernard G. Epstein, class of 1961, October 2nd, 2010. Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy each other and have a great, great weekend. Go Hawks!
My name is Edgar Ureta. I'm a sophomore on the men's tennis team, and today we're going to be inducting Mr. Epstein with the court, and we're also going to be having some alums out today for a cookout. We're also going to be hitting with them, so it's going to be a very nice event for today, and it's good to have the alumni back here at the university. I'm sure they had a lot of good times here, and for us it's good to build some connections with them and also get to hit with them for a while, so it's great to have everybody out here.
Bernie Epstein is somebody who has and will continue to mean a great deal to the University of Hartford tennis program. His gift to our program was absolutely fantastic. Even after his passing, he's contributed greatly to what we're trying to do with our court improvements, our recruiting efforts, and things of that nature. This Alumni Day and the number of people we have at it are a product of what he's meant to the program. This is the largest turnout we've ever had, and we have a great day for tennis, and we're just happy to be here.